So you talked about the 5 doors. Can you explain a little bit more about nature?
I perceive nature as one of the most wonderful doors. What do I mean when I say doors? Many use the word portal. Doors, basically, it's a way into accessing a way to access to a commune with a part of ourselves that is wider and more, has a much more expansive level of awareness. So nature is, in my perception, is our mother. It's the most elegant example of unconditional love. Nature, our Mother Earth, I perceive it as a female energy. It's one of those few situations available to us in this planet that are not deceiving. By communing with nature, we allowing the necessary time to get to a point where we can finally hear nature, because we've been for such a long time in a situation of deception and illusion and separation that we lost our direct communication with Mother Nature. So now, in order to re-establish such a communion, we need to allow a period of time with her, so that gradually we start to open up our heart and we start to get the informations. And once we get into that kind of communion with nature, we have literally access to an archive of infinite wisdom blended with motherly unconditional love, that it will completely transform us. So I consider Mother Nature, Mother Earth, a door, a powerful door, and once we cross the door, we have the ability to remember who we are very powerfully and very rapidly, and then we have a very powerful partner, companion that will guide us with into the mysteriousness of this journey. With extreme, with great wisdom and with great precision. We will tap into an energy field where we will gather a lot of informations that otherwise, in this deceiving environment, are always very exposed in a very confused way, and they're always very mixed matched with disinformations and fear-based data. But once we connect with nature, all that dissipate, and we have a clear voice of our mother. Our mother is talking to us, and she loves us unconditionally, and she wants us to go back to what we really are. We are God and goddesses. When we are fully conscious, we are the creators, and now it's time to progress towards that part of us that is waiting for us. And Mother Earth definitely wants us to go there with no hidden agendas. So Mother Earth is really a wonderful door to open. We need to find the spaciousness, sometimes even the courage to recreate our existence in a way to have access to nature for several hours a day. The system, of course, doesn't want that to happen. That's why it keeps us constantly in a state of running left and right, running for surviving, running for achieving, running for safety, running for fear. But it's a constant run that the society engages us with, so that we do not have time to access to these doors, and Mother Nature being one of them. So we need to, within ourselves, we need to reassess our relationship with society and create healthy boundaries, so that we can, maybe with time, but we can move out of that hallucination and get in an environment that is in nature, so that we can spend several hours a day with nature. And by doing that, after a few months, we will start to really feel fully the embrace, the sweet embrace of nature. There are many people who think that's not possible because I have work, I have this, I have family, I have a house, I have whatever reason, I cannot, I have to stay into this very contractive environment, which is usually a city. In that case, then you can either try to go to the park in the city. City usually have parks where you can access to. Of course, the nature in those parks is very castrated, so it won't be as empowering. But there is still, you can eventually connect in that way. In other ways, to have, of course, to have animals. Animals are some of the most delicious voices of our Mother Earth. So having pets also help a lot. But in reality, if we are really to a point where you say, I want to go to the next level, then you probably need to move it in a place that is more organic, so that you have the time to reconnect with nature, just to listen, just to stay into stillness, and then from stillness you will start to hear her, and that's where the transformation begins.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the ways how we connect with nature?
Yeah.
So you were already saying animals. What else?
Yes. Animals, of course, are just unbelievably wonderful. They are like angels. Giving so much time into the outdoor, walking on the beach and establish contact with your barefoot with ground, sitting near a tree or hugging a tree, connecting and start to communicate with your emotions, with the surrounding, whether it's a desert or is a forest or is a river or is the ocean or is the countryside. Just spend as much as possible time into this environment, and allow gradually to switch from well, that actually will happen automatically, gradually, but what you start to do, you start to switch from this very mental noise where we are all caught up with and start to hear voices that are much more organic, that are coming from our heart, from our center, more than from our mind. So it's not so much a noise of contraction, it's more a voice of expansion, it's a guidance. You start to feel that all of a sudden you want to paint, or you want to say something that you never said before to your mother or to your father or to your loved ones. All of a sudden you want to buy a creative device that allows you to do things that you always wanted, but you always put it at the side because you were too busy fulfilling the never-ending demands of the society. So you start to hear those voices, and then those voices start to go deeper and deeper into eventually, gradually starting to step into a situation of sovereignty, self-empowerment, all those fears that are keeping us in a state of contraction start to dissipate. You start to feel how unrealistic, illusionary are those fears. And as those fears start to go away, you start to hear more and more your inner voice. So basically, by connecting with nature, you create a vortex that start more and more expanding, and you start to reconnect more and more with the true part of yourself, and you start to deprogram yourself and let go all those voices that wants you to indulge into less than loving situation, less than joyful situation, and wants to believe that life is very dramatic and you have to be fear of this and scared of that, and then all this responsibility that they believe you have, and all these curriculums that they've been overimposed on you. They start to reveal themselves. Basically, the veil starts to get thinner. You start to see more and more what is true from what is not. So that's the power that eventually will unleashed as you progress into spending more time with our Mother Nature.